Hey sweet friends, I'm Leslie from Leslie's Cookies and Treats, and in today's tutorial I'll show you how to make an elegant monogram or Mother's Day cookies that feature delicate florals. So these cookies were actually made for a book club event, but I turned them into Mother's Day cookies because I thought they would be just so perfect for that. The design for the cookie actually comes from the cover of the book, and I'll leave a link to that book in the description. But I'm using a projector here to make sure that we get the florals exactly where they need to go. And I have some videos on how you can transfer the design to your cookie using a projector or the tissue paper or paper piecing method, and I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. So I'm using a detailed consistency, or about a 20 to 25 second consistency icing here, and I just started out by making a straight line for the stem with a ball of icing at the top. And then I'm going to go down the stem making balls of icing. I'll stop squeezing and then drag that ball of icing into a point, connecting it back to the stem. And I'll just repeat that process for all of the stems. So I'll pipe a ball of icing, stop squeezing, and then drag it back to the stem. And I'm wiping off the tip of my piping bag after almost every leaf. And once I finish making the stem, I take a paintbrush that's dampened and then I wipe all the water off on a paper towel, and I can just kind of shape these leaves the way I want them and smooth down any bumps or peaks where the little individual leaves meet the stem. And I'm going to do the same thing down here at the bottom. My hand will be in the way for part of this, so I'm not going to show that in the video because all you're going to see is my hand. So I apologize for jumping around, but you just want to pipe a big ball, stop squeezing, and then drag it back to the stem and repeat the process until all of your branches are done. And then once again, because your icing is a stiffer consistency, you can use a dampened paintbrush and you can shape the leaves how you need to. And here you go again, we're going to do it one last time. And then once you finish making all the leaves, I added a couple of branches for the flowers. I'm going to call these lilacs, but I'm not exactly sure what kind of flowers they are. I made 2 long stems, and I'm just taking my purple icing that's also in about a 25 second consistency, and I'm just making little dots up and down all of the stems. I'll let these dots set up and dry for a few minutes, and then I'll go back in and layer on some more dots to give it dimension and texture. And then in a different video, I have a tutorial on making these royal icing transfer flowers. I'm just going to peel it off the parchment paper, and then I'll put a little dab of icing where I want this flower to go, and we'll just attach it to the cookie just like that. And like I said, once the purple icing had set up a little bit, I'm just going to go in and add some more dots, giving it texture and dimension. And then I'm going to turn my projector on again in order to pipe the letter in. And you can also do this using the tissue paper method. As I said, I'll leave a link to that in the description. I'm just going to slowly go around and outline my letter N following the projector. It's a little bit tricky to keep your hand out of the video, but I find if I start from the right side rather than the left, I can usually see where I'm going with my icing. And then I want this section to be a little bit fatter, so I'm just going to outline that again so that I have both sides of it. And then I'm going to take a looser flood consistency icing and then just flood in that little section. Then I'll use my scribe to kind of smooth everything out and shape it. And because I find that letters often get craters, I'm going to immediately stick this cookie in front of a table fan to dry. Now let's work on the Mother's Day cookie. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a bit of royal icing on the back of my flower, or you can put it on the cookie and just attach it to the cookie just like that. And then I'll use my projector to pipe the word mom right onto my cookie. And for this one, I'm actually going to use more of a pressure piping method because the letters are a bit smaller. So where I want the letters to be thicker, I'm just going to squeeze more icing out with my piping bag. And then I'll light up on the squeezing so that I have thinner areas for the little skinny lines. I hope that makes sense, but basically I'm going to squeeze harder on the downstrokes and then stop squeezing so hard to have little thin lines on the upstrokes. And I'm just going to go over this line to make it a little thicker. And then I'll use my scribe to settle everything down. I am using my detailed consistency icing for this, so I am going to have to jiggle the icing a bit with my scribe right here because it is a little bit bumpy. And then once again, I'll put this cookie back in front of a fan, or you can even put it in a dehydrator to dry. so that we don't get any cratering in the words. And I think these are adorable and that Mom is going to absolutely love them, and I hope you love them too. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button. I have new tutorials all the time, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm here to help.